Hello, very good morning to you. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger Johnson and Louise Minchin.
Good morning. Our headlines today: an expansion of the coronavirus testing programme. Everyone in England will have access to 2 free rapid tests a week from this Friday.
Boris Johnson will give more details about his plans to further ease the lockdown in England today, including a COVID passport scheme to restart big events.
We are live at a very empty Manchester airport this morning, talking about the possibility of a foreign holiday on the horizon, with a Downing Street announcement later today.
Lockdown continues to ease in Scotland as garden centres, homeware shops and hairdressers all reopen.
Good morning. After a half-time rocket from their manager, Manchester United come from behind to beat Brighton and tighten their grip on second place in the Premier League.
Actor Riz Ahmed, who's been Oscar nominated for his portrayal of a drummer who loses his hearing.
Good morning. It's a much colder day today with a significant wind chill, with snow showers in the forecast, even down to lower levels, especially so in the north. But in between, there will be some sunshine. I'll have all the details coming up later.
It is Easter Monday, April the 5th. Our top story today: everyone in England will be offered 2 free rapid COVID tests each week from this Friday, under the government's plans to expand its testing programme.
The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, says the additional tests will play a crucial role in curbing future outbreaks of the virus as life returns to normal. Our health correspondent Jim Reid reports.
Rapid lateral flow tests are already being used to test secondary school pupils, families with children and those who cannot work from home. From the end of the week, they will be offered to everyone in England. These devices give a result in 30 minutes. They can be picked up from a local testing centre or pharmacy, or ordered online and delivered in the post.
Even when people have no symptoms, they may be infected and they may be infectious. And if we can catch those people early, then we can break transmission. And that reduces the number of people who are infected, it reduces the likelihood of new variants, and it helps keep everybody safer.
The government says the twice-weekly tests will be crucial to help prevent outbreaks in the future. But Labour said the mass testing programme must be backed by improved financial support so those told to self-isolate can afford it. And some scientists have questioned the accuracy of the tests, especially in people who don't have symptoms.
The tests are not good at ruling out and saying you don't have COVID. We have to be very careful to get a message to everybody that says, if the test is negative, behave the same way. Don't believe you haven't got COVID. Don't go and kiss and cuddle your granny or your granddad, because it's not a test which tells us that. It's not a good enough test.
The government claims the kits are extremely accurate, particularly when it comes to identifying the most infectious cases. In England, a new publicity drive will start this week to try to convince more people to make regular testing part of their weekly routine. In Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, mass testing is also being expanded in places like offices, factories and care homes. Jim Reid, BBC News.
The next stage of the government's plan to ease lockdown measures in England from April the 12th is expected to be approved by Cabinet Ministers today.
Yes, the Prime Minister will also give details of a traffic light system for restarting international travel and his plans to trial COVID passports at major sporting events. Our political correspondent Nick Eardley has more details.
In a week, we should be seeing this again in England. Pubs and restaurants serving outside. Non-essential shops opening their doors, hairdressers back open, those lockdown haircuts finally brought back under control. The Cabinet will meet to discuss the latest data on coronavirus this morning, and Boris Johnson will confirm his plans in a press conference this afternoon. He'll also be talking about holidays, but don't expect firm dates or a list of where we'll be allowed to go. There will in future, though, be a traffic light system. Green will mean you don't have to quarantine on return to England. Amber, you'll have to quarantine at home. And red will mean it's in a government-approved hotel. There'll be more information about COVID passports in England too. They're designed to allow mass spectator events like the FA Cup final. Under the plans, you'll need to show either that you've had the vaccine, a recent negative test, or that you have natural immunity based on having had the virus in the past 6 months. The passports won't be used on transport or in shops at all, and they're not being used in pubs at the moment. But many MPs are opposed to them, some devolved governments have concerns, and there's likely to be a big political battle over their use. Nick Early, BBC News.
Well, hairdressers and garden centres in Scotland can reopen from today in the latest easing of coronavirus restrictions.
Salons and barbers can welcome back customers with appointments only, although most non-essential shops will have to stay closed for at least 3 more weeks. Here's our Scotland correspondent, James Shaw.
The chance to finally tame out-of-control lockdown hair will be something that many people have been looking forward to for weeks, if not months. If this hair salon in Glasgow is anything to go by, there is enormous pent-up demand.
So when we got the first announcement, we opened our books and we had over 1,000 bookings within the 24 hours. So yeah, we were expecting that. So it's crazy busy, but the staff are all well rested, and yeah, we're going to be open 7 days till 8 at night. So long days ahead. So yep, we're ready.
There are still restrictions such as face coverings and physical distancing. All cuts must be pre-booked and mobile services are still not allowed. After your haircut, you might want to visit a garden centre, homeware store or car showroom. Non-essential click and collect is also permitted. Garden centres in particular are likely to be busy.
It'll be good. We just need to get the social distancing measures back in place, get everything sprayed out, and it'll be good to see all the customers back, because even since we've started working in the place again, there's been loads of customers down at the gate and stuff ready to get back in the garden. So it's just in the nick of time, I think.
These are all relatively limited changes. The big date in Scotland is the 26th of this month, when all non-essential shops will be allowed to open. Travel throughout Scotland will be permitted. Up to 6 people from 3 households will be able to socialise outdoors, and hospitality venues will start to open up. All that is still 3 weeks away. Non-essential travel within local authority areas has been allowed since Friday, but until the end of the month, when all travel restrictions are lifted, Scotland's major roads and other transport links are likely to stay relatively quiet. James Shaw, BBC News, Glasgow.
A 2-week-old baby boy has died after his pram was hit by a car in the West Midlands. Police say the incident happened on the High Street in Browns Hill near Walsall about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The driver fled the scene, but a 34-year-old man was arrested shortly afterwards. He's been questioned on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving.
Police divers have been deployed as part of the investigation into the disappearance of student Richard Okereke. The 19-year-old hasn't been seen since the 22nd of March.
Yep, he was last seen walking towards Epping Forest. Aruna Iyengar has this report.
19-year-old Richard Okereke has been missing for 2 weeks. He has sickle cell disease and has been shielding due to coronavirus since last March. He left home without his medication. He's described by his mother as focused, intelligent and loved, and his disappearance is completely out of character. Police say they're working round the clock to find Richard. Police divers have been searching in areas of water in the woodland of north-east London and in Epping Forest. These pictures released by the police show the last sighting of Richard around midnight on the 23rd of March. He got out of a taxi in Loughton, East London. He's wearing all black and carrying a black satchel with an Adidas white logo on it. He walks along a residential road called Smarts Lane. Police say they have records that he paid for that taxi. Earlier, he left his family home at 8:30 in the evening on the 22nd of March. 15 minutes later, he was seen boarding a number 23 bus southbound in Ladbroke Grove. Police say Richard's mobile phone hasn't been used since he disappeared. They're appealing to the public for any help in finding him. Anyone who saw him on the 23 bus or later in the Loughton area. Aruna Iyengar, BBC News.
Driving licences among people between age 16 and 25 in Britain have fallen to their lowest level since records began in 2012.
The number of full licences held by young people has dropped by more than 300,000 since March last year and is now just under 3 million. The AA has put the fall down to the coronavirus pandemic, which has prevented lessons and tests taking place. And as a parent of a teenager of around that age, I can confirm that that is why.
That is the reason,
pandemic.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.